Hi, we're Team 6, and this is our senior design capstone project. This project was proposed by our client, Dr. Gong, to support his research in perovskite solar cells. The goal of this project was to build a domain-adaptable, fine-tuned LLM that can go beyond simple text generation and actively assist in real research workflows using tools such as MCP, tool calling, and RAG. Our system combines retrieval augmented generation to pull in relevant external knowledge, tool calling to interact with APIs and structured data, and MCP to coordinate multi-step reasoning and manage context with third-party tools. Together, these components allow the model to break down complex scientific questions, gather and analyze information, and produce structured, useful outputs. In this demo, we'll show how the system handles a real research query from start to finish. I'm going to now pass the mic to Nate to get us started. Go ahead, Nate.
All right. Thanks, Dylan. So I'm going to go to the actual chat interface where we can actually interact with the model. And in this chat, I will show the different tools that you can use with the model. First, I'm going to upload the document I have prepared, and I will ask it a simple prompt and summarize this document for me. And this is the entire RAG pipeline that we have proposed, and it will be able to actually extract the text and use the contexts within the document within this chat. So another important part of our system is MCP and tool calling. So I have a query here to find 3 documents on archive that are similar to this document that I've just uploaded. And so this will use the MCP with archive, and that is essentially just a bunch of different tool calls that archive has available on their website, and so that we can use it on our project and upload different documents that they have already on their website. So I'm going to make another chat and use a different MCP that I have that will allow us to actually search the web. So I'm going to ask search Kaggle, which is a website that holds a bunch of data sets related for machine learning, to find data sets related to perovskite solar cells. And this will actually use the tool calls and find similar data sets on Kaggle. And this is useful for any research purposes. It's not only for perovskite, but that is why we wanted it to be domain adaptable. And just to briefly mention, we have these LoRa adapters saved here that we can use, and these are produced throughout the cyclical workflow that we have on our app. And I will go back to the main menu to show how that process is actually done. So I'm going to hand it off to Dheeraj to talk a little about LangFuse.
Yep. So LangFuse is our observation layer. This is where we can look at all the interactions with GLLM. So as you can see here, we're looking at an example trace. You can look at the prompt, the system prompt, and also the tools that the LLM used for that specific interaction. And the good thing about this observation layer is we can annotate all these traces, so we can provide an evaluation from a scale of 1 to 10, for example, to say how good of a response this was, and then provide or create a synthetic data set with all these labels so that we can fine tune the model for better performance later on. So now I'll pass it back to Nate.
Yeah, thanks, Dheeraj. And so one of the main struggles that we had for this project is that we only have one GPU. And that essentially means that we can only run the model and the fine-tuning process one at a time. And so in our admin console here, we can actually manage the different containers that are used to run these 2 different processes. So I had our model running, and now I will start what we used for fine-tuning the model to make it a domain adaptable in Unsloth. And just a quick overview of the different processes, managing the roles and fine-tuning requests for other users that would be using this system. But mainly I want to focus on Unsloth, our fine-tuning process, and I will hand it to Mina to talk a little more about this.
Thank you, Nate. This is Onslaught Studio. It is used to fine-tune large language models easily using LoRa without needing heavy setup. First, you can choose the base model you want to work with, and then you can choose a local dataset or pull a dataset from Hugging Face. After starting the training, export page will be appearing, and the model can be easily exported to Hugging Face. Another useful feature is the compare chat section where you can choose different models and compare their answers to the same prompt to choose which model is better. So this is the very easy way to domain-specific training. Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, and that just about covers the standard workflow that an administrator would have on our system, and I hope you enjoyed.